Hi, I'm Sherry here at the Little Beading Closet. Join me today as I show you how to make this chain wave bracelet. It's not until you put this bracelet on that the magic happens. The way that you get all these different angles from this one bracelet. And now let's take a look at all of our supplies. You're going to need size 11 seed beads, 4mm bicone crystals. I'll be using 22, a trigger clasp, along with 2 jump rings. I'm going to start out using wildfire for the base of the bracelet when I'm using just the seed beads. And then when I move on to working with the crystals, I'll use a crystal fire line. But for now, you can begin your project with 5 feet of wildfire. I'm going to start with the first right angle weave unit, which is made up of the clasp and 3 of the seed beads. Bringing it down near the end of my thread, and then I'll go ahead and add a knot. I'll needle back through the clasp and all these beads one more time. Because this is the end, I want it to be tight for the clasp. Coming around, back through the clasp, and then coming down here. Entering into the bead opposite of the clasp. I'm finished with the tail and I'll trim it off. Picking up 3 more of my seed beads and needling back through this bead here that my thread is exiting. And just pulling those. And now we have a right angle weave unit coming through the one bead here on the side. Pick up 11 of the seed beads, and they're going to come next to the right angle weave unit. We're going to pick up 3 more seed beads and make 1 more right angle weave unit here. My right angle weave unit is on the right side here. I'm going to also needle through on the right side of my thread and pull that right here on the bead and pull it up next to everything else. So now you have 2 right angle weave units. Pull out any slack in your line. There we go. Coming up this bead here, you're going to enter into the side of your right angle weave unit. And if you look at it, we have this right angle weave unit here and this one here. We just need to connect from the side of this one to the side of this one. Picking up 10 of your seed beads and needling into the side of the right angle weave unit up here. Come back across the top of it, pull it all tight, and we're going to work all the way down the side of the edge. And you want to make sure that your needle exits the right of that right angle weave down here. And pull everything tight. And now we're just going to repeat that to continue our seed bead right angle weave base. 11 seed beads coming up here next to this one, and then picking up 3 more seed beads, entering into the seed bead here at the end, and making a right angle weave unit, pulling to make sure it's up next to the rest of the beads, coming up through this one, and then needle into the one right here, and this time 10 seed beads, coming into the side of the right angle weave unit up here, through the top, and again needle down the side, exiting the right angle weave here, making sure everything gets pulled tight. And now that you have 2 sections complete, just continue working. After you've been working on the length of your bracelet, you'll come down to the end, and at the last right angle weave section, You're going to be attaching one more right angle weave section using 2 seed beads and the smaller jump ring. I'm going to go ahead and take the larger one out of the way for now. 1 seed bead, the jump ring, and 1 more seed bead. Needling back through the end bead here. You want to do your best to get the jump ring to sit between the 2 seed beads. And retrace this a few times since it's your last unit on the end with your clasp. I'm going to go ahead and add a half hitch knot by coming up through all these beads here in the middle, slipping my needle through the loop that's formed, and pulling a knot onto the thread, coming through here. And now I'm going to trim off the rest of my thread. At this point, you can go ahead and put on your other jump ring and close that up. We just have our next step of adding more seed beads and crystals. You could use just one color, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do this one with a variation on the same color theme. And now that we have our crystals, we might want to switch our thread over to something like a crystal fire line. Since the crystals are transparent, the thread won't show through them so much. And go ahead and get 4 feet of this. And you'll also need 2 needles. And you're going to want to put a needle on each end of that thread. Starting here at the end with your clasp. If you're using something like a magnetic clasp, it might not matter. But this one, I want to make sure that the trigger action is here on the top. And now we're going to be working with all the right angle weave units between the sections of our bracelet. And as we look at each right angle weave unit, there's a top and a bottom bead. A top and a bottom bead. So let's go ahead and get our thread in place. We're going to come through the top bead of our first right angle weave unit up here. And then pull the needles to center your thread. I'm just going to take one of my needles, put it along the side, getting out my seed beads, and you'll pick up 14. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. And then you're going to need 1 bicone. And like I said, we're working with the top and bottom of these right angle weave units. Coming out of the top on this one, we're going to needle into the bottom of this one. So come through the bottom and pull this together. And on my other needle, repeat that with the 14 seed beads and 1 bicone. Again, you want to needle through the bottom seed bead here. Pulling them together. At this point, take a moment to double check that your thread lengths are still the same. If not, even it up. Now you need to work with the top seed bead. Come up through the side of your right angle weave unit, and then needle through the one on the top and go underneath your bicone. So your thread is exiting that top one, but between these two. And now we can take this needle and just put it in our mat for now. Picking up my other needle, I'll be doing the same thing. coming up the side of the right angle weave unit and through the top of it, coming out underneath the bicone. And then I'm going to pull on both my threads. It does look quite round at this point, and that's okay. When you finish your bracelet and wear it, it has a different look. But when you're beading it, it may look just like this, like a circle. So we have 14 seed beads and 1 4mm bicone. And then needle through the bottom of your right angle weave unit. You could also come up the side at this point and through the top, coming out underneath this strand of beads and bicone. Again, 14 seed beads and 1 bicone through the bottom of your right angle weave unit. You can always loosen this up so you can see the side bead of your right angle weave unit, and then needle through that one. And then again coming through the top and exiting underneath the bicone strand. At this point, take your 2 working threads and pull them tight. And you're just going to repeat that all the way down your bracelet. I want you to check out what this will be looking like from the side view. It's not until it's all complete and you wear it do you see how the bicones sit up in each section. But this is how it'll be looking as you're working on it. I've been working on it a little bit more. I just wanted to update you with how it looks from the side, the back, so you know when you're working on it yourself how it's going to be looking. Work on adding your seed beads and bicones until you get down to the very last section of your bracelet, just before the jump ring. You'll be exiting the top of the right angle weave section. You just want to finish it up without any crystals down here next to the jump ring. Again, we're working with this right angle weave unit here, not the one that actually has the jump ring attached to it. This time we'll be adding 16 seed beads. Needling through the bottom of the right angle weave unit. And then I'm going to come up the side and along my edge. And now with the other needle, 16 seed beads. And through the bottom of the right angle weave section. And then coming up through the seed beads here. Go ahead and turn it over. Continuing up the seed beads here. And then retracing the right angle weave unit here in the center. Through the top of it. Down the other side. Back through the bottom, picking up my other needle. I'll just repeat that here. Retracing my right angle weave unit. And right here where my 2 threads meet, I'll go ahead and add some knots. And I'm finished with my thread. I'll go ahead and trim that off. Now let's take a look at everything that we've done. You can really see the waves when you turn it to the side. If you look at it top down, it has a different feeling. I hope you enjoy your finished bracelet, and as always, have a beautiful day.